everybody. This is Pastor Andy at New Hope. Today we're starting off Seeds of Hope here, which is going to be a weekly teaching that we'll use to hopefully just plant seeds of hope, encourage us as we kind of journey through life together. And I wanted to start with Psalm chapter 121. And it's just several verses in that, but I think it's such a great passage to encourage us and I think invite us to question what we put our trust in. And I think that's important today because I think that what we put our trust in, I think that influences how stable our hope is. And that I think the temptation in times of trouble and adversity is to put trust in things that we can see and we can hold on to. And the challenge that I notice is that whenever I'm doing that, those things always, they come and they go. They may be really abundant at one moment and then they're not so much. Or it's working really well and then it breaks. And you may have a bunch of toilet paper one time and then you don't have much after that and it's hard to go get it. And we kind of joke a little bit as that's kind of been our reality in the adversity that we're going through together. But I share with us Psalm 121. Thought we could take a moment just to look at that. I want to read that for us, and of course if you have a Bible on your phone or tablet, or if you've got a book there in front of you, the psalmist writes it like this. He says, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." I love that song, that psalm, and its poetry. I think it's a beautifully written. And when the people of God were using that psalm, it was to be a reminder to them that as they went to worship and they saw the mountains all around them, and they were able to be reminded how great God is, who had created the mountains, who had created the heavens, had created the earth, had provided for them, had protected them over the years, and all of the events that happened in their lives, all their crises. God had been faithful. And David writes this psalm as to encourage the people of God, but also to really challenge people in the nation and all around who didn't worship Jehovah, because a lot of them had put their trust in a God who they thought had created the heavens, and a different God who they thought had created the earth, and a sun god and a moon god and God of fertility and God of the harvest. And yet the challenges with all the gods that so many people worshiping was that always let them down. They were always not completely trustable. And so there would be times where they think that God was sleeping. We would never think of our God as sleeping, but actually there were some faiths that believed that their God did sleep and slumber. And so one of those is an old story out of 1 Kings when Elijah invites the people that worship the false god Baal to go ahead and call on your God to bring fire down and consume that sacrifice. And they did, and it never happened. And so I love Elijah's response is, well, maybe your God is slumbering, sleeping, is not available right now. And so this psalm is a way to challenge the people to consider, are you putting too much trust in the things that have been created or the things that you create in yourself, or are you putting trust in the ultimate God who is the Lord of the heaven and earth, who has created all of those things, the one who never sleeps nor slumbers? Where are you finding that you're getting hope? The things that are here a moment and then they're gone, or in the God who is always with us? And I think one of the great images from this psalm is that God really is one who is our protector, that he really is that helper. He is a provider. He is an overseer of all of life and all that we're going through. And we need to hold on to that. That really needs to be a daily part of how we worship. A time of, I think saying, thanks God. Thank you for being one who's always vigilant about watching over my life. And I know that when I pray, you listen. I know that if I cry, you know how I feel. You know my coming and my going. I never have to worry about whether you're aware of what I'm going through, because you are. And I can trust you. I can trust the Creator to always be faithful in there, even though I know that the things that I have around me that I see and I touch and I may hear, and those things, they have their place and they're good. And it's wise to be responsible with what we have, but to not trust in the things that we have more than the one who has given them to us. I think it's good for our health. In a day and time as such as we're in, I think it's really helpful if we'll remember that we need to make wise choices, but we also need to remember that there's a God who loves us and can provide for us at all times. And He may do that in some surprising ways, and so we want to be open to those opportunities. But great wisdom says that we ought to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct our paths. I hope that that nugget of wisdom and the reminder of Psalm 121, that the Lord will protect us, the Lord will watch out for us, provide, help us, be faithful, never sleep, but always watching, always aware, always listening, always compassionate, and is there for us at all times. I hope that knowing that and worshiping God every day with that faith will be a seed that will help us grow our hope during such a time as this. May God bless you, and we look forward to touching base with you next week. And thank you so much.